Good morning, dear students. Today we will be starting the fifth session of Champu Ramayana, which is common to all the UG students of third semester, BA, BSc, BCom, BBM, BCA and BHM under the Bangalore Central University syllabus. In the last session, we learnt about three important Champu Kavyas. Among the five Champu Kavyas that are very important in the history of Sanskrit literature. Among the Pancha Champu Kavyas, we learnt about three important ones, and today we will be learning about two more, that is Champu Ramayana and Champu Bharata. So, if we try to recollect what we have learnt in the previous sessions, in the first session we learnt about the salient features of Champu Kavyas, the origin and development of Champu Kavyas in the next session, and then the history of Champu Kavyas. And in the last class, we started about the five important Champu Kavyas. We learnt about Nilakanta Vijaya Champu written by Nilakanta Dikshita, Vishwa Gunadarsha Champu written by Venkatadvari, and also Nala Champu written by Trivikrama Bhatta. So the purpose of learning these Pancha Champu Kavyas is to understand how Champu literature was one among the most important types of poetry in Sanskrit literature, and to understand the beauty of Champu style of literature. It's also helping to seek knowledge about Champu Ramayana and Champu Bharata. In this particular session, you will be gaining knowledge about Champu Ramayana and Champu Bharata. And as you all know, this Champu Ramayana is the text which is prescribed for all the courses in third semester for BCU students. Each and every course has different portions of Champu literature, Champu Ramayana. And you all know that BA and BSc students have Sundarakanda, BCom students will be studying Aranyakanda, BBA students will be studying Ayodhya Kanda, Balakanda, and BCA and BHM students will be studying Ayodhya Kanda. And just like Ramayana, you all know that this Champu Ramayana is also based on Valmiki Ramayana. And just as Valmiki Ramayana, Champu Ramayana is also divided into 7 different kandas, that is Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranyakanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundarakanda, Yuddha Kanda, and Uttarakanda. But the poet Bhoja wrote only 5 kandas. Pancha kandas were written by Bhoja, and Yuddha Kanda was written by Lakshmana Bhatta, and Uttarakanda was written by Venkata Raja. Okay, so there are several Vyakhyanas to Champu Ramayana. Among them, the most important are those written by Narayana, Ramachandra, Kamadeva, Manadeva, Ghanashyama, and others. So these are the most important Vyakhyanas written for Champu Ramayana. And to speak about some of the specialities, some of the most important significant features of Champu Ramayana, we can say that the style in which Champu Ramayana is written is so attractive. That is the reason why Champu Ramayana is very famous. It is written in the Vaidarbhi Shaili. It's called Vaidarbhi Riti. So there are 3 different types in which Sanskrit literature is composed. One is Vaidarbhi, another is Gaudi, and the third one is called Panchali. Okay, Vaidarbhi is made out of very beautiful composition of words. Okay, and one more significant feature of Champu Ramayana is that it has Anuprasa, and Upamalankara prominently. The poet has used Anuprasa as well as Upamalankara more frequently. Of course, even the Utpreksha which is used in Champu Ramayana is quite famous. Okay. Shabdalankaras are the most important feature of Champu Ramayana. So there is an example here for Shabdalankara. Yenam Purana Nagarim Nagariti Salam Salabhirama Bhujanirchita Yaksharajaha Helabhibhuta Jagatam Rajanicharanam Raja Chiradavati Ravana Namadeyaha. This is an example for Anuprasa. And then there are also other examples, like for Upamalankara there is another example which is given here, and also there is Upamalankara Visheshaha Kavya Saundaryam Kalyanavada Sukhitam Sahasaiva Kantam Kantara Charakataya Kalushicakara Ambodanada Muditam Vipine Mayurim Santrasayanniva Dhanurdhvanina Pulindaha. So this is a situation in Champu Ramayana wherein there is Upamalankara, which is very important, and so these are some of the specialities of Champu Ramayana. And as you are studying one kanda or a portion of a kanda of Champu Ramayana, you will be trying to understand more and more about this particular kavya. So now let us try to understand a few aspects about Anantabhatta's Champu Bharata. So Anantabhatta's Champu Bharata is based on Mahabharata. As the name itself suggests, you understand that it is based on the story of Mahabharata. You must have heard the saying, Vyasochishtam Jagat Sarvam. So everything that is there in the literature is something used and left by Vyasa. Uchishta is something left over, okay, by Vyasa. That means Vyasa's Mahabharata is complete. It has everything. So there is a shloka which says, Yadi hasti tadanyatra yanne hasti natat kvachit. Whatever is there in Mahabharata is elsewhere. What is not in Mahabharata is nowhere. So that is the prashasti about Mahabharata. So therefore, Anantabhatta was completely influenced and motivated by the story in Mahabharata, and therefore he wrote Champu Bharata based on this story. Asmin grante Mahabharata kata dvadasha stabakeshu sangrahita. So these chapters in Champu Bharata are divided into stabakas. There are 12 stabakas in which the whole story of Mahabharata has been sangraha, like collected or put together. So the time of Anantabhatta is Shodasha Shataka, that is 16th century. Desha Kaladi Vishaye Adhikam Vivaranam Na Labhyate. There are not many details about his time and place. So about Champu Bharata, there is a Kavi Prashasti, okay, which goes thus: Digantara Lutan Kirtirananta Kavi Kunjaraha Pranaistulyam Saraswatyaha Pranaihi Ashi Champu Bharatam Anena Shlokena Kavehe Kavya Praudima Prasiddhischa Lakshati. So this shloka speaks about the scholarship and the poetic beauty that is there in Champu Bharata. And this is the speciality. There are other specialities also in Champu Bharata, and they are Bhasha Praudima, the kind of vocabulary that Anantabhatta uses in this, and then Vichitra Kalpanaha, the special imagination that he has, and then Shabda Chamatkarascha. So the beauty of words that he uses, Arambastabakeshu kavya gunaha adhikataya santi. So in the first stabaka, we can see a lot of kavya gunas being inserted into his kavya. Katha sangrahasya eva pradhanyam. For him, the story, the collection of story is very important. Like he tries to bring in the major incidents that happen in Mahabharata, and therefore he gives more importance to that. Champu Bharatasya bahuni vyakyanani prasiddhani. So the vyakyanas of Champu Bharata are also equally important. And then Shabdalankarasya Saundaryam. There is a shloka which is given here which speaks about the Shabdalankara Vaishishtya, and I think that much of information about Champu Bharata should be enough for you. Now let us try to summarize what we have learned till now about Champu. Champu Sahityetihasasya Sankshipta Parichaya. Now you have understood the main features of Champu literature and the history of Champu literature. Champu Ramayanasya Champu Bharatasya Vishaye Vishesha Jnanam. I am sure you would have learned a good deal about the salient features of Champu Ramayana as well as Champu Bharata. So these are the most important things that you need to know about the two texts, as they are two among the Pancha Champu Kavyas. So after this there are MCQs which you will have to answer, and if you have any doubts you can keep us posted on the website and in the app. So we'll try to clear your doubts. So please go through the study material that is provided for you and try to answer the questions. So thank you very much for a patient hearing. Let us meet again in the next session. Thank you very much.